There we go. Starting to see some people checking in now. Hello, Tim. Welcome to the chat. There we go. Starting to get some people checking in now. There we go. It's hell in Birmingham? Or did we just forget the O? Day's doing well so far. Just got done doing uploading today's vlog. Got an idea for tomorrow's vlog, so that's always good. It's sometimes a struggle with these daily vlogs, figuring out what you're going to do every day. Yeah. Jordan mentioned to me. He texted me a couple hours ago and says, "Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll go live, and then I'll stop right before you go live, and then I'll just see if we can direct everyone over here." So, we'll see what happens. I think I got like 160 viewers last time I did one of these, so we'll see if we can outdo ourselves a little bit. Hi, Chris. I'm doing well today. It's still really hot here, but I think we're supposed to get some maybe rain tonight. Had a tornado warning earlier. Where was that, Celia? I'm just wondering if that's going to affect me too. Actually, I haven't looked at the weather much today. When I was out kind of just wandering around doing my vlogging today, it was kind of intermittently raining a little bit. Not really a whole lot, but just enough to get the windshield wet. I'm glad you made it, Richard. I try and do these periodically, and I have fun doing them. So you know what, we'll keep doing them. I'm glad you could make this one. I wish it would. I wish it would stop, or I wish it would not stop raining here in Texas. That was sort of the reason why I kind of came here. Is I was hoping to get a little bit of weather. We do get more weather here than we have in the past in California, but still. And I guess maybe I'm just kind of we're past the maybe rainy season now a little bit. Yeah, actually, I was watching the radar of the nation a few hours ago. There's a big storm front kind of going through the Midwest right now, so it doesn't surprise me that Chicago's getting it. Wow, thank you, Janet. That's terrific. I appreciate that. Why did I move to Texas? Basically, I've lived in California my whole life, and I just want, for one thing, I wanted to live in a place that had a little bit of weather. We don't, you don't have that in California. It's hot season and it's hotter season, and that's really all it is. It rains, but we're in a desert, so that's I wanted a little different, and I wanted something about as far different from California as I could get. And Texas seemed about as far away from California as I could get. So yeah, I have actually thought about that. That the stud finder can't find studs made out of caulking compound. I kept rubbing it over my chest too. It wasn't finding me either. So I don't know. I like it so much when I have him as a moderator because now his name pops up on the screen. It's easier to tell when he says something. But I think he's going to maybe focus on maybe troll hunting for me. Try and protect me from people who are trying to get me to say bad words online, or say words that sound like bad words. I don't know. There's just people out there like that are weird. Yeah, I considered a number of places, and I kind of wanted to stay away from the northern latitudes because I'm not that big a fan of snow. We get a little bit of snow down here in Texas, but it's not like, I'm living in a part of the world here that's going to freeze solid for 4 months a year. Hi, Maria. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Yeah, Jennifer, I saw you over on Jordan's stream, so I figured you'd probably come over here too. Appreciate you doing that, of course. Appreciate all of you stopping by. How are Bite and Nibble? Bite and Nibble are doing fine. I included some video on the video I'm uploading today of the cats kind of exploring the new shelves. So, they're still a little bit leery about it, but basically, I saw that Bite went all the way up to the top shelf, and Nibble herself was up on the lowest shelf for a little bit. So she knows it's there. She'll get used to it after a while, and I think I think eventually they'll get to the point where that's just like home for them. I think Bite's actually behind the couch right now. I think I saw him a little bit ago. That's why I kept the kitty treats here. Maybe I can coax some out. Hi, Jean. Um, Carpet on the shelves probably is not so much of an issue with traction. I know the shelves that I had in California. I only put carpet on the one shelf that the cats kind of hung out a little bit just to kind of keep it warm. And I didn't find that shelf in the storage locker, so that might still be in the pod. So I may have to still get that one. But like I said, I was lucky I could find. I was lucky that I could find six of the shelves in the storage locker. So I missed the fish pond. The fish were really, calming and stuff like that. But it was a lot of work to take care of. A lot of maintenance to keep the pond clean and keep the water clear and all that. Wow, thanks, Jordan. I'll go buy some grapefruit juice. I love that. No, it's regarding the pods. It's my understanding that they put them on the back of a flatbed truck. In fact, when I was talking to one of the people at the Pods Corporation, I was saying, what they really ought to do is put those things on the back of railroad cars, cars, because it would be so much quicker. It takes them 9 days to drive a pod from California to Texas. And, they were explaining to me, well, sometimes what they'll do is, they'll drop one off one place and pick up another one and stuff like that. But it takes them, 20 minutes to load a pod onto the back of a truck using that thing that I showed you in that video a while back. They call that a Podzilla. And it takes them, 15, 20 minutes to load and unload. You saw the whole thing in one take when I did that footage a couple months ago. That's how long it takes. So this idea that it takes them 9 days, I don't know. I can't imagine how that's the case. I think it's just I think a lot of times if you've ever flown on like an airplane, they always overestimate how long it's going to take to get from point A to point B. So if it takes them 2 hours to get to that location, they'll say it's going to take 2.5 hours just because nobody ever complains about arriving early. And if they always say that, if they always overestimate how long it's going to take, then they reduce the likelihood that at some point they're going to be late. And see, that's what the whole thing is. You want to have a high on-time record. Well, if your on-time estimates are always padded by 25%, then you're never late. And I suspect probably the pods do that too. And maybe it's also just dealing with the fact that you got people out there at their company who are kind of incompetent and make a lot of mistakes, and maybe they're padding their numbers a little bit too, to deal with all those mistakes. But whatever. Actually, yeah, I'm actually a little nervous about this final pod unload, this last part that I'm kind of planning on for Tuesday, because there's like three things in there that it took three of us to get it into the pod. And so I don't know, I might have to try and figure out some way to hire somebody to help me with it because, I built a big desk a number of years ago, and that's like one big giant piece of lumber. It's very heavy. It took a lot of work to get it in there. I have a workbench that my father built for me a number of years ago that's in there, and that thing's massively heavy. And I think I can partially take that thing apart, and that'll make it easier to move. And then there's also another desk that my sister's father-in-law built that I got a number of years ago. That's also in there. I got most of the side pieces and legs of support, uh, out of there, but that thing is still, the desk base itself is still there, and that thing is also massively heavy. So, like I said, I might have to go get some help on that one, but we'll see. All right. Thank you for stopping in, Chris. That was nice that you were able to stop for a little bit. But go check, go talk to your daughter. That's important. Yeah, last couple times where I've done these pods, I haven't hurt myself, but I've like strained some muscles doing it, and there were a couple points where I got some like really bad leg cramps or arm cramps, like the 24 hours after. Uh, after I did it, I'd bend a certain way. It's like, oh, that hurts, that hurts. Yeah, we don't have that many day laborers at Home Depot here. It isn't like California where every time you go to Home Depot, there's like 50 people out there looking for jobs. I haven't seen any of that here. So I don't know. I might actually have to go hire someone for real. For the most part, I eat at home. I think the last time I ate anything, I guess the last time I ate anything out of the restaurant was when I went after I unloaded the last pot. I was too tired, so, but generally for the most part, I just kind of, cook for myself. It's cheaper and I know what I'm getting, and I haven't managed to kill myself yet with my own food. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I suppose I could probably hire a moving company to do it, but you know, I'm also a little concerned right now whether I have enough room left over in the storage locker for everything that's left. Yeah, maybe Craigslist would be a good option. It'd be more than a 1 hour job because it's about an hour round trip to where the storage locker is. Because the storage locker here isn't here in Waco, Mexico City. I didn't see that one come across. Oh yeah, there it is. Hi Nancy, you're internet. I'm international now. That's good. I like that. Yeah, I've seen like spin-offs of Two Men in a Truck or like Three Men in a Truck or something like that. So I don't know if that's a chain, but I've seen that too, Venus. Yeah, I don't think Jordan would want to come to Texas. There's not enough material for him to vlog here. All right, yeah, I'm glad you could stop in from London too, Richard. That's great. Because yeah, it shouldn't be too late. What is it? About 11 there? Okay, Celia. Yeah, I understand how power goes out. You got to save that. I don't know. Do you even keep internet? I guess if you're if your iPad is getting internet like from the cell network, I guess you're okay. Has Nibble found the perches yet? Yes, I shot some time lapse video last night. I basically left the camera running all night, and they both kind of checked out the shelf a little bit. Bite went all the way to the top. Nibble made it to the first shelf, and she hung out there for a couple minutes. So they know it's there. They're kind of getting used to it. I expect that Nibble will be up there before too long. I honestly figured she'd be the first one up there. You know, she's very timid when it comes to people, but she's more adventuresome, I think, than Bite ever was. You leave the front door open, she'll be the first one to go out and explore. The music cracked me up. Yeah, I know. Yeah, how was that for a mashing of music? Yeah, it was like this weird little poppy ambient thing, and then all of a sudden you go to this heavy metal thing. Yeah, I know that kind of made me laugh a little bit too. But what I've been doing, you know, I don't want to get dinged for copyright stuff, so I've been using like some of the free, you know, copyright free music or the public domain music on YouTube, and sometimes it's hard to find the exact thing you're looking for. So you find something that says, okay, yeah, that's good. You know, part of the problem also comes from the fact that uh, you got to, you know, in that case, I had a 4 minute, 22-second clip I had to fill. So you had to try and find music that would fit into that hole because you don't want to chop the music off or have a bunch of dead silence at the end. So, you know, I actually ended up kind of doing a fade out on the second part because I actually did the song was like 3.5 minutes and I only needed like 2 minutes of content. So yeah, it's funny at the beginning, people didn't like the laugh track. Uh, but I guess they're kind of getting more used to it. I think part of the problem is I at the beginning I didn't quite balance the audio well. So what would end up happening, um, you know, is I think sometimes the laugh track would drown out, you know, what I was saying, and that kind of bothered people a little bit. But I'm trying to work on that a little bit better. Yeah, you play the Residents backwards, it still sounds like the Residents. Yeah, I had some people comment yesterday they were impressed how quickly I work because that little 4 minute clip was actually about 2 hours of real time. Will my merch store have slippers? I haven't thought of that. That's a good idea. We'll see. You have to make sure that when you find a new merch company, Jordan, that they do slippers. Yeah, the t-shirts should be going. I got final artwork today from my graphic artist, and he's gonna, you know, so I'm gonna send that off to Merch Five. Merch Five isn't really doing anything more, but they have a couple of shirts left over, and so I'm going to, you know, get a couple of them made, and then we'll go to whoever the new merch company is, and we'll do that. And we got a couple of things on the burner there, so we'll see what happens. How about a T-shirt of the? I guess we missed a word there. Of okay, of the how many days board? Yeah, Jordan actually suggested that as an artwork idea too. Maybe we'll do something like that. You know, I have to set it for 0 because that would be the funny thing. And that'd be cool. You know, you could do like a white T-shirt on that, or you know, it'd be a very simple thing. You're right. That wouldn't be hard to do at all. Do that on the front, and but that's not how it's done on the back. All right, Richard. Thanks for stopping in. I don't know if I don't know if it was originally going thinking about a, game show theme with a laugh track. I was thinking more like a sitcom. Yeah, I've given Jordan a lot of leeway on this vlog. He's helped me so much. This vlog wouldn't exist without him, and that's the truth. Because I would never heard of vlogging. Well, I've heard of it, but I never would have thought to do it, and I never would have had a friend telling me, giving me advice on how to make it work quickly. I'd never would have had a friend, sending all his fans over and doubling my subscriber rate when I was only hoping to get another 10. So that was this vlog wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for Jordan, and I totally acknowledge that. Yeah, there was never any doubt that Jordan would be get behind me and help every way he could. And like I said, I made him a moderator, so if we have any trolls that pop up this time, he promised a couple days ago that he promised a couple days ago that he would go to hunt down and kill all the trolls for me. Yeah, everyone can see what a lunatic I am. I know. Yeah, I know. I better be careful. Jordan's going to block me. I don't know. Can a moderator block me from my own account? I don't know. Thanks. I'm glad you like the that's not how it's done vlogs. They're kind of fun. I enjoy doing that. You know, that's part of the reason why I'm kind of doing some of these simple repairs around here and not even talking to the landlord about it because you know what? I like doing these little projects like that. It keeps me entertained and it doesn't cost me a whole lot of money. I think I've spent all of $15 right now fixing things in this place, and it's good vlogging content. So, hi, Leanne. Thanks for stopping in. Mm. Yeah, you're not the first one that said that it looks like the flag is painted on bricks, but yeah, no, it was folded up in a little plastic bag when I got it, and I don't know how long it's been there, and I haven't found the iron yet. I'm gonna go try and finally empty the last pod on Tuesday, and hopefully I'll find it then. I was trying to keep a close eye on what was where in the boxes because I really clearly marked all of the boxes, what's in them, and where they belong, and all that. And so when I was pulling boxes out of the pod a couple days ago, I was looking for um, what I could if I could find the iron, and I was looking for a couple other things. And didn't see the iron, so maybe that's still in there. Wow, thanks, Linda. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, Tuesday is the day. Hopefully, we'll get that all taken care of. I can't really say because that's bottled water. I kind of get those two and a half gallon water dispenser things and keep them in the refrigerator. I haven't had any tap water to drink yet. I wouldn't be against an older home. I'd have to see what's inside of it. One of the things I really hate about this place, and I talked about it a little bit in my vlog, and I noticed it when I first moved in, was I don't like the texture on the wall. And I remember thinking when Jordan and I walked in this place the first time that I was really gonna. That was one of the things I noticed right off the bat is that was going to make it really hard to use the stud finder to find the studs under the wall because you got to keep that thing flush to the wall. And when it's going like this, because of all the texture on there, you don't get a good contact. Yeah, that's probably true, Jordan. It's job security. They do it. they do it really cheaply. They know they'll be back in doing it again. I'm probably going to put some of them out of work because, I'm doing the work and hopefully doing it right. They won't have to fix it in another 6 months. But I'm, even today, I'm looking at things that's like, wow, what are these guys thinking with the? I was looking at the wall in the kitchen in there, and I noticed that there were these funny little bumps on them, kind of at a regular interval on the walls, and I realized that they're nails. Whoever attached the drywall didn't use drywall screws; they used nails. And now, as the walls are bouncing a little bit or flexing a little bit, it's pulling these nails out, and you can see the nail heads sticking away from the wall. So yeah, that's another one of those. That's not how it's done moments. I almost reset the clock today because of that. Yeah, an old home would be nice. Like I said, I'd have to have some modern stuff done. I don't know. A lot of times with these really really old homes, they have the wires on the outside of the walls, and maybe not not the best plumbing or whatever. Yeah, Leanne, the cats have been up on the shelves. I did some time lapse video last night in their room while I slept, and I kind of left the light on in there, and I have footage of both of them going up on the shelves. Bite made it all the way to the top. Nibble went up to the first shelf and just kind of hung out a little bit for a couple minutes. Uh, they're still more active at night, and I think a lot of time they were downstairs, wreaking havoc down here. Yeah, I don't know if it's bad. I just think that they just don't know how to do it right, or they've been taught wrong or stuff like that. One of the things I noticed when I was doing the shelves upstairs last night or yesterday that was really kind of driving me crazy. Usually on a house, when they put the studs on the wall inside the wall, they stage the studs so they're what they call 16 inches on center, which means if you measure from the center of one stud to the middle of the next stud, it's going to be 16 inches. But for some reason, that wall in the cat room, it seemed to me that the studs were 14 inches, which is I've never seen anyone do that, and there's a reason why you do it 16 because 16 is a direct multiple of 48, and the drywall sheets are 48 inches by 96 inches. So if you start a piece of drywall right in the center of one stud and screw it in, then by the time you hit four studs over, you're going to be at the end of the drywall. If you have 14-inch studs, then that means that you're gonna have the seams of the drywall not on the stud, but between the studs, which means there's always going to be the possibility it breaks it apart. I don't know if it's just that one wall or what, but it's really weird. Now, when I was looking at the nail positions in the kitchen, the nails are 16 inches apart, so the studs appear to be right there. But upstairs in the cat room, it looks like they're 14 inches, at least on that wall. Now, it's possible maybe that bathroom, because the wall that's in the cat room is the one that separates the cat room from the guest bathroom in there. And I'm wondering maybe if that bathroom was something that they added on afterwards, and maybe somebody just did kind of a cheap, cheesy built a wall in there and didn't really know what they were doing. I mean, that's possible too, because that would explain why it was 14 inches instead of 16. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but usually, if they're putting additional lumber in there, for like plumbing or something like that, it's just going to be, one additional stud in there. But this seemed like, every 14 inches there was a stud. At one point I couldn't even use the stud finder to find the studs under the wall because of the texture on there. And so what I just said, okay, well, it seems to be 14 from here to here and 14 from here to here. So let's measure another 14 and just drill a couple of holes in the wall. And boom, that was how I found the stud. Well, Jordan counted on one of his fans to come up with the Lionhearts thing, so I guess that would be up to you guys. Yeah, I was watching Jordan. He talked to me before he went live and said, maybe we can, you know, maybe I'll do a live stream and then we'll have everyone come over and see you. So the moment he ended his live stream, he sent me a text saying, "Yeah, you should go live now." And I said, "Yep, I'll be on in just a couple minutes." Oh, that's too bad about your Chihuahua, Gene. That's sad. I think I saw you post something about that a couple days ago on Facebook. Bricketeers. Oh gosh, no, 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 absolutely not. Veto. Uh, I've heard people say the Breakfast Club, and that's kind of corny too. But the Fix It Brigade, yeah, okay, that's cool too. Yeah, a lot of people commented on the laser point, the laser level thing. That's just something really cool. I got a number of years ago at Home Depot. I used it a lot at home, and fortunately, I think when I because the laser pointer or the laser level was in the second pod. So when I saw that one come out, I said, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to want that. So we just grabbed that. The stud finders. That's pretty funny. I like that one. That's laugh. That makes me laugh. See, that's a lot of it. Is the is it, if it makes me laugh, that's a big influence. That's actually what started that whole "that's not how it's done" thing. Because I just when I was started seeing this stuff, it made me laugh. And then when I actually put the video together and put the laugh track over it, it made me laugh. So at the beginning, that was what all it was about, is just kind of entertaining myself. Um, Windy outside, and I keep seeing like branches, and I keep thinking it's like somebody's looking at me, but I guess it's just the branches. We're supposed to maybe get a little rain tonight, so we'll see. The stud finders, yeah, that's funny. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the hair. Yeah, I haven't really done a whole lot with it. It's well, one of the things of my hair is when you get in really humid weather, it tends to get all curly like this, and so that's kind of sort of what's happening a little bit. Yeah, no, no, I'm not going to do escapeteers. That sounds too much like mouseketeers, and I'm trying to escape the mouse. Yeah, I haven't found a cowboy hat yet. Honestly, I haven't looked that seriously, but who knows? Maybe we'll get one day. You may find someday that I'll just log on and and you'll see my video, and and I'll be wearing a hat, and there won't be any explanation for it. I'll just be wearing it. Yeah, maybe I might do some restaurant reviews. The issue is I'm not really that much of an eating out kind of person. I always cook my own food. I kind of know what I like, and I know what I get when I do that. It's more it's more cost effective too to buy your own food and uh, and do it. In fact, when I get done with a live stream here, I'm going to actually start tomorrow's vlog. which is actually going to be a cooking vlog. Um, oh yeah, Jennifer just said, yeah, cooking video. So yeah, I'm going to start that. I'm going to prepare something that I can just throw in the freezer, and there'll probably be 20 meals, over the next few weeks. Um, and like I said, it's going to take about 36 hours to prepare because it starts with some wild rice, and with wild rice, you got to spend some time with that. So, so tomorrow's video will be a cooking video. I don't know if you'll like my food taste. This is something I like to do, and I make a lot of it when I do it, and then put it in the freezer, and then I'll eat for like a month. Did I find anything more to fix in the apartment? No, not really. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I discovered that in some places in the house they're using nails instead of screws to attach the drywall. Um, to attach the drywall to the framing of the house, and it's like, over the years, that drywall has just kind of pulled those nails out. There's a reason they use screws. There's a reason they use drywall screws, and I know that they know what drywall screws are because they've been using drywall screws to fix the cabinets in the kitchen. So I know what they're using. I mean, it makes you wonder if they're using, what they should be using on the cabinets on the drywall, and using what they should be using on the drywall on the cabinets. I mean, what are these guys thinking? I honestly think that that they just have a truck full of whatever they have, and hey, I need some screws. Oh, there's some screws. Are they the right kind of screws? I don't know. We'll just do it anyway. We'll make you wonder what the floor. I'm assuming that the maintenance people didn't build the apartment, so I'm assuming that the bones are good. I haven't seen anything really weird with any of the bones of the building that gives me any concern. It's just the kind of cheesy repairs that they do. So yeah, it does make me wonder though if, like, the things that should be nailed in or held in with caulking compound or something like that. Actually, that was one of the things I was looking at, Karen. They actually kind of attracted me to this place. This is actually a two-story apartment, and I have both the bottom and upper floor, so I don't have anyone on top of me, and I don't have neighbors on three sides of me. So the only neighbors I have are through that wall there, and so far they've been pretty quiet. So I've been really happy uh, with that part of it. That's a big thing with me. I, am a very light sleeper, and I like it to be really quiet. And that was something I had in California because the house was very well insulated and it had double windows everywhere. So, you could have like really a lot of noise going on outside. You wouldn't even hear it inside. And so I'm very glad that this place is similar to that, at least on that front. My house in California wasn't poorly constructed, but you know what? Like I said, I can deal with these things. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe I could just, use a little caulking compound to attach it here and there at the corner and just stretch it out. Maybe you're onto something. How did Jordan and I became friends? How did Jordan and I become friends? Actually, Jordan did a vlog about a little over a month ago, the day we left California the last time, where he told that whole story. So yeah, you got to go back and watch that one. Besides, I'd like to get people to go back and watch some of those because for some reason the Texas vlogs didn't uh, get as many views as some of the other ones, as the more later ones. When people started discovering this channel and go back, going back and watching some of the early ones, they watched up until the point where I left, and then I guess they kind of jumped over that and just started watching the current stuff. So a lot of my least watched videos are actually the Texas trip videos, which is weird. Yeah, I understand how that was. When I've been lucky because every time I've had an apartment, I tried to get one either on the top floor or at least one where I didn't have anyone above me. And so I've been really lucky so far because, yeah, I could not deal with people stomping around on the floors, above me. That would just, I wouldn't be able to sleep that way. Yeah, I think Jordan talked about something like that too, that the caulking compound is the duct tape of this place. And you can fix a lot of things with duct tape, because duct tape is actually pretty good, pretty solid stuff. No, I have never been to Norway. The only European country I've ever visited was Spain, and I went there when I was in college. That was, I don't know, way back when, back in the mid '80s. I would like to go visit some of those places. Jordan's made me want to go see some of these really interesting places. So who knows? Maybe I will. If I find a job where I make some good money, maybe I can do that at some point. But Norway would be fun to visit. I have a lot of family in Sweden, and so that's kind of all in that kind of general area. So, my mom's side is from Sweden, so it'd be fun to go see some of that. Yeah, that seems to be the way a lot of people fix things: duct tape, nails, safety pins, hammer, and a screwdriver. Yeah, I went to Boston a number of years ago. That was fun. Back when I was working at the CD factory, I traveled on business a lot, and so there would be trade shows throughout the country, and I traveled to a lot of those. Um, and one of those places was Boston, and I was there for I don't know a week or 10 days or something, and it was really fun because I was on a hotel just right on the Boston Common, so there was so much history there, and one of the things a friend at work suggested, because I was going to be there over Halloween, she recommended I do a drive up to Salem, and I spent Halloween night at Salem, Massachusetts. That town just comes apart in Halloween. I don't know. It actually took one of Jordan's fans to create the Jaws pal page. So, maybe if somebody wants to do a bite and nibble page, that's cool. I'm I'm not really going to do a whole lot of that. No, absolutely not, Jordan. I'm done with HOAs. I've got a list of things I want, and honestly, the HOA wasn't that much of a hassle in the old place I was in, but I still don't really want to have one with an HOA because I don't like having to get approval of the committee before I do anything, and I just like to have kind of my own freedom to kind of make my place what I want it to be. Plus, the fact if I'm going to do a roadside attraction, the HOA is going to get in the middle of that and say, "No, you ain't doing that." So I don't know. We'll see. Dr. Pepper Museum. I know it's here. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Dr. Pepper. I don't like it's too sweet, and so I've never really been a fan of that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see it at some point, but you know, I'm probably not going to go see the Root Beer Museum either because I don't like root beer either. HOA is a homeowners association. Basically, certain communities will set up an association to kind of manage everything, and they tend to, require you to get permission to do things in your yard. or to your house or whatever. You got to get get your neighbors' approvals, and you got to get the approval of the HOA, and it really just slows things down. Like I said, I've heard a lot of horror stories from HOAs, and mine never really was that big of a hassle. They weren't the kind of people that sent you dirty notes if you put the wrong doormat out or something like that, or that. But I don't want to get in the middle of that. So I kind of know what I want for a house, and definitely very high on the list is I don't want it to be in an HOA. No, I think I'm probably done with the fish pond thing. They were fun and it was serene to watch them, but it was a lot of work to keep that thing looking good. About once a year I had to drain the thing out and get the fish out of it, drain it, and repaint it and clean it all up, and it was like just a lot of work. So I don't think I want to do that again. Yeah, I know they did make me repaint my house, but I knew that had to happen anyway. And Mr. Fix It here did it himself. I'm the only one in my neighborhood who actually painted his own house. And I did it for a third or a quarter of the cost of what anyone else did. And I got a paint sprayer out of it, so I'm in good shape here. I'm ready to do it again, and I don't mind doing those things. On my own. Then you make sure you get it done the way you wanted. And the truth is, everyone that had a professional paint their house in my community complained about the sloppy work they did. I did, and everyone said, "Wow, your house looks fantastic." In fact, one of the guys that was doing the sloppy work, the sloppy paint work, complimented me on how well I did on my house. So, you know what? That's good. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the David Koresh Branch Davidians thing. My understanding is the Branch Davidians still occupy that property, and basically you can't get very close to anything there. And I don't think there's anything there left anyway. The whole place burned down. So yeah, I do have the bike. I have not used it yet. In fact, I noticed when I moved it out of the way to build the shelves yesterday that the tires are a little deflated. So I'm going to have to pump that up. But fortunately, I got a little hand pump that'll pump that thing up. And if I get too frustrated with it, I'll go pull the air compressor out of the storage locker and we'll use that. But I think I can just do it by hand. Duct tape and caulking compound. Yeah, that's what I ought to call this apartment. The duct tape and caulking compound. Yes, the kitties are kind of getting used to the shelves a little bit. I left a GoPro in their room last night shooting time lapse video, and I included that video on my vlog that'll go up in a couple hours. Um, so yeah, and they were both on the shelves. Bite went all the way to the top and checked it out. Nibble got to the first shelf and just kind of hung out a little bit, but they didn't spend a whole bunch of time on it, probably because they're not familiar with it, and you know what was the first DVD I watched when I unloaded my pods? Honestly, I think it was Revenge of the Nerds because I wanted to go watch that again after having been there. It's a whole different thing now that I've been there. And you're right, Jordan. I think we nailed it in terms of locations for the competition at the end, because that's exactly where it is. No doubt that we hit all those places right. All right, thanks for stopping in, Laura. I'm glad you could be here. Yeah, it might have been Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but at least I was able to put that one on the hard drive, so I was able to watch that when I didn't have anything else. About the only thing I had before the pods came, though, is I brought my A Team box set with me, and I was watching that a lot before I got the rest of my DVDs. But yeah, Revenge of the Nerds definitely the first thing I watched. No, I probably won't be able to watch that thing now again for a long time because I've watched it so many times in the past couple months, that, you just get to the point sometimes where you burn yourself out. Do I play a musical instrument? No, nothing that I want to admit to. I did a little bit in college, but it was one of those things. My parents were musical, and so they wanted me to be musical, and it just wasn't my thing. So, I would, I was more interested in being the person behind the recording console than being the person in front of the mic. Watching the A Team makes you suspicious of everyone around you. Yeah, it's probably true. Is it okay to say hi to Jordan? Of course, say hi to Jordan. He's here. When I popped in a couple of comments on his live stream, I had a bunch of people say that say hi to me. So yeah, that's cool. Say hi to Jordan. He's here. What character from the A Team are you most like? It's funny because Jordan and I have had this topic before. He's always identified with Hannibal. I always identified with Murdoch. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jordan. I guess Jordan remembers that conversation. And then Jordan had another friend who identified with Mr. T. And I don't remember who was Face Jordan. Tom Hanks in 80s comedies. I don't know. I was watching a lot of movies in those days, and I saw both of those movies, but never really got into either of those particular movies, either The Burbs or The Money Pit. That's right. Yeah, that's right. James was Face, and you had that friend who was also kind of doing acting at the beginning. That came over to my place a couple times. He was BA Foreman. Yeah, that was it. Or yeah, yeah, Mr. T. Mike Foreman. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, so we all our little group. We each one of us identified with a different A Team member. The cats are doing fine. I put a GoPro in their room last night and left the light on, and both of them checked out the shelves. Bite went all the way to the top, and Nibble kind of hung out on the bottom shelf a little bit, but she knows it's there, and she's curious about it, and I think she'll work her way to the top, and eventually, I think we'll see get some more footage of her. But watch my vlog that's going up in about 2 hours because I included that footage in there. Yeah, we went. Jordan and I went and saw the A Team van on our way out here. Or no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't on the way. That was on the Vegas trip where we saw the A Team van. I think it's so hard to keep track of all it now because we've gone and seen so many really cool things that sometimes forget where everything was. Yeah, they may have liked the video, but just not everybody watched it. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I got to go back and maybe they just nobody's watching because they just really sucked in those days or something. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, Dr. Pepper isn't for me. Like I said, I'm not really into really sweet things uh, that much. So, there's, I don't eat like pancakes and syrup either because it's just too much for me. And Dr. Pepper, root beer, I'm not really into them that much. I know my mom is watching these every night. My dad told me recently that he's fallen a little bit behind, but uh, I know my mom is watching these things religiously every night. And I also found out that a friend of mine named Beth from California is watching them every night. I don't know if either of them watch the live streams, but did I see the A-Team movie? Yeah, I wasn't really into it. It was when I heard that who was it they had for Hannibal? It's just he wasn't who I was thinking of, and you know, yeah. Well, we've been kind of playing with the with the vlogging for a while, and I've been kind of keeping it just simple on all this, not really promoting it a whole lot. And Liam Neeson, yeah, thanks, Jordan. You know, I don't know. I've seen him in a bunch of things, but uh, I just didn't really think he was the right person for Hannibal. I don't know who I would have picked. Yeah, I wasn't really into Bradley Cooper either as Face Man. Oh wait, no, wait, was Bradley Cooper, was he Face Man or was he Murdoch? I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I've liked other things that Liam Neeson's done, but just wasn't really into that. All right, can't wait to see your tomorrow's vlog, Jordan. Always look forward to them. They're great. Yeah, like there's anybody here that's watching me that doesn't already know who Jordan is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't hate anyone for who likes Dr. Pepper. It's just it isn't for me. And you're right, the world would be really boring if everyone liked the same things. I only saw Darkman once, and I don't know. I didn't really get it. Maybe it was one of those movies that I have to watch again. Yeah, yeah. I did the tie dyed thing in the background. I'm actually looking at it on the camera. It doesn't look half as good as it does in real life, but um, I've always put like a bed sheet on the couch here just so I don't get cat fur all over everything. And eventually, the last bed sheet just kind of wore out, got a bunch of rips and tears in it. So I just went out and bought a brand new one, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try tie dyeing it and see how it works. And I thought it turned out pretty good. So yeah, we'll keep that. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Actually, I didn't thaw anything out, so I got some maybe spaghetti sauce in the fridge. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I didn't see any of the Taken movies. I've it's been a little bit different with me. With movies recently. Ever since I bought a house, I didn't watch a lot of movies. When I lived in my parents' house or when I lived in an apartment, I'd go see movies every weekend. And in fact, there's sometimes I'd spend the whole day at the movie theater, and I'd go from one theater to the next one to the next one to the next one, and and I just kind of got out of that when I got into the house. There's just so many more things to do when I bought a house. So yeah, I've been to Bucky's a couple times because when I've been going to pick up the pods, we have to drive right by that Bucky's that we saw about 30 miles out when we drove in that first time. So I've actually gone there a couple times. I think I stopped by there when I did the Memorial Day vlog where I went to the cemetery at Fort Hood because on the way back I hit the Bucky's and checked them out. I don't think that one was as good as the other one we went to though, Jordan. I like the other one better. This one seemed to be smaller. Yeah, that's probably part of it, Jenny. But I think it's also that when I became a homeowner, I had more things to do. When you're in an apartment, you don't have to do any of that stuff, so you get some time killer. You get some time to kill. So just I think it'll be the same thing. And now I've kind of gotten out of the habit of going to movies. And so many of the movies I'm not interested in anymore. So I can't even tell you what the last movie I saw in the theater was. Yeah, no worries. Sometimes your keyboards mess up. It happens. Well, I've thought about it, Jordan. You kind of planted the bug in my ear. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to have a live in an HOA because I'm sure the HOA would poo-poo that. Yeah, maybe I'll have to watch Walk the Line too. I got that in my collection. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm just anti-movie. It's just there hasn't been anything there that I'm really excited about. And a lot of times, what I do is I'll just wait until it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray and get it that way. Haven't been to Hewitt yet. Wow, 174 people right now. I think that's a record for me. 176 now. That's a new record for me. Oh, now we're back to 174 again. Somebody lost it. Uh, I'm working on the heat, but that's part of the reason why I haven't been going out a whole lot lately. Is it's been really hot. It's like 93 today, but it's supposed to get a little cooler because we're supposed to have a storm blowing in tonight, and then it's supposed to kind of be intermittently rainy over the next couple of days. So we'll see. Yeah, it isn't that the movies are too dark or satanic or anything. It's just the subject matter doesn't interest me anymore. You know, maybe it's just that I'm not really following the movie reviews or any of that stuff. So I don't really know, which ones are even out there right now. I wouldn't be able to tell you one movie right now that's in the theater. Actually, I would know one because it's Toy Story 4, and I heard it's bombing. Thanks, Jeff Kidd. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for contributing to my super chat. I really appreciate it. Very nice of you. Yeah, but you're right. Texas is a very hot place, and I'm gonna have to get used to it. But I've lived in California all my life, and you know what I want now, like I said, is a little weather. And I've been here in like January or February too, and it's cold out here then. So I'm hoping that a little bit more variety, and that's really what I'd like to see. Oh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre barbecue gas station was fantastic. If you ever get a chance to do that, go and check it out because the food alone is worth it. And if you like the movie, it's fun to see that place. That was definitely one of the highlights of our Texas trip coming out here. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the ads. If there's the same amount of money going to the content producer if you watch the whole ad, or if it's just you if you click through the ads. I don't know how that works. I haven't seen any any specific anything specific on all that. So we'll find out what time. I am starting to see a little bit of revenue coming in now, so that's kind of fun. All right, yeah. Thanks for stopping in, Jenny. It's always fun to have you stop by. I am a fan of the Marvel movies, and ironically, I didn't go to see any of them in the theater, but I have a lot of them, in my DVD collection. I like the X-Men series. I like, I like Spider-Man. I like the Avengers. Those stuff, those kinds of movies. Not really into Guardians of the Galaxy. Not Didn't really get into that. Thank you, Maria. That's really generous of you. Yeah, we'll get some more nails to fix up those to fix up the nails that are coming out of the wall there. Maybe I'll dig through some of the underneath some of the cabinets, see if I can find some drywall screws. Yeah, I've been like I said, it said that it was supposed to rain tonight, and I haven't really been watching the weather. So let's see what's going on here. If I can see anything. One of my favorite apps on on my phone is called My Radar. See, it looks like there's a bunch of stuff going on here in the area. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm down here where this blue dot is, and there's something coming up, and it looks like that could probably swing down eventually. So we might get some rain in the next few hours. And it looks like it's a powerful one. It's strengthening, so we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It'd be great if somebody could super chat me some rain. Yeah, well, the moment I started doing this vlogging, Jordan, I knew that I wish I'd kept the GoPros. But when we loaded the first pod back in January, the idea of doing any vlogging, didn't it never even dawned on me. So I don't know if I'm going to ditch the phone, but because one of the problems with the GoPros is they is is that the audio isn't that good. Now maybe it's just because I have an older model. I have the original uh, the first version of the GoPro, and I have the Hero 4, which is 4 or 5 years old now too. And in order to maintain the waterproof, you got to put them in these airtight plastic cases, and you don't get good audio through those. So I really like the GoPros because they're good. Just throw it in, get some raw video footage, and they do really good video. And I also like them because they're really easy for doing time lapse. The time lapse I did in yesterday's video and the time lapse from today's video are both, um, you know, done on the GoPro. All right, thanks for stopping in, Jeff, and thank you again for your super chat. I really appreciate that. I'll probably go. We've been going for a little over an hour now. I like to keep these things going for about 2 hours. Yeah, I know. That's amazing. I'm really surprised it's probably because we didn't tell anyone we were doing this, so they didn't know. And, the haters only come in when they know that there's something they can hate. But I'm still glad you're here, even even if you're not having to block anyone, you're bringing up some good questions and steering the conversation. So I like that. Yeah, everybody thinks I'm working that fast. See, when I was doing the time lapse during the Texas trips, I would have liked to have used the GoPros there. That would have been a better option because the ability to speed up video, shot at normal rate, it doesn't work that well all the time. And sometimes it screws up the editing software. There's a few times where, I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes, occasionally, my videos, especially at the end, after I've done like a time lapse, the audio will be out of sync with the video. And there's nothing wrong with the raw video. It's just, you know, nothing wrong with the raw video. It's just something that the software is doing when you render it. Your mom likes my white socks. I'm not wearing white socks right now, but yeah, I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of them. I don't have any other kind of socks. In fact, I have white socks and I have black socks. And the only reason I have the black socks is because I had to wear black socks when I wore long pants at work at Disney. They're very specific about what color socks you can wear, what color shoes you can wear. Yeah, I actually drove right by the zoo today. I was doing something else today, but we'll go hit the Cameron Zoo today. I was actually in Cameron Park today a little bit. You'll see that on today's vlog. I don't know who the music was. What I did is I went onto YouTube and just looked for some, copyright-free music stuff that I could use for free, and I found a couple sites that just have hundreds and hundreds of tracks that you can pick, and I just settled on those two because I said, okay, well, that seems like it works. I actually found the first one first and put it in there. I said, okay, well, let's see if I can find another one that's just like that or similar to that. And then I found that one. It's like, well, that seems like a really weird segue. This kind of weird environmental music going into this heavy metal thing. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Like I said, a big part of this, for me is, just entertaining myself, having fun with it and making myself laugh because, until I started getting a little bit of money out of this from the super chats and from the ads and all that, the only thing I had, the only, thing I got from this besides, the love and support from you guys is just the fact that I was able to entertain myself. So when am I going to start house hunting? It's going to be a little while. It'll probably be the end of the year. I want to make sure I found a good job that I want to stay with first. That was why I didn't get a house immediately. I wanted to, not be anchored down with a house. So if Waco doesn't turn out to be right, and I end up going to Temple or to some other town in the area, I don't want to be anchored to a house. And so with an apartment, I can, if it doesn't work, I'll go find another job and move somewhere else and try that, and we'll just keep going. And the beauty is the money I got from selling the house, I put it in an online savings account. And I'm already starting to see a little bit of interest. Just in a week, I've made $150 just in interest on that account. So, we'll figure it out. We'll get it done when the time is right. And I don't know what it's going to be. It'll be at least 6 months because I got a 6-month lease here. Yeah. Well, maybe buy a foreclosure or a fixer upper. That would be kind of fun. What am I looking for in a house? I want something kind of comparable to what I had before. It's funny because I was talking to my mom. My mom said you could probably get a smaller house here than you had in California. And I'm thinking, no, if anything, I'm going to need at least the same size house because, whenever anyone came to visit, I could always just count on staying at my parents' house, which is like 20 miles away from where I live. But if anyone's going to come visit me now, they're going to need to stay with me. I'm going to need some bedrooms. And what size am I going to look for? The one I had was about 1,800 square feet. It had 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. So I'd like to find something similar. 3 bedrooms, maybe a little bit bigger. I had a 2-story house. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm done with uh, with 2-story houses. I think I'd like to have a single-story house. My mom had her knee replaced a couple years ago, and it hasn't been a very smooth process. And so, I'd like to maybe find a house that she could get into. Most of the all of the bedrooms were upstairs, and so my mom never would have been able to get upstairs with her problems. So, we'll get something there, and I'd like something with some land. That would be fun. I wouldn't mind being on a couple of acres of property. In fact, when I was out doing my vlogging today, I saw some really nice houses with some, really, really huge lots. Uh, and of course, I do a little woodwork. I haven't really even touched on that, but I do some woodwork, and it would be nice to have a big enough garage where I could, have my car and do my woodwork in there. Every time I did anything in California, I had to take the car out of the garage to do that. So, you know, maybe a 2 or 3 car garage, or even just a 1 car garage, and maybe like a work shed or something like that. Something big enough where I could do something like that. I don't know. Like to have a wood burning fireplace. Never had one of those. We'll figure it out when we go along, and definitely no HOA. The California house was about 1,800 square feet. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm kind of keeping an eye on, Jennifer, is where the water is, and where you have the issue of floods. And fortunately, I'm a little bit above the water level here, so that's definitely something I'll consider when I'm moving here, is to make sure I'm not in a flood zone. Yeah, if I got a big property, I'd probably get one of those ride along lawnmowers, so it didn't take me an hour and a half to do it. You have the perfect house for me in Oklahoma. It has everything I want. Okay. If I were a code enforcement officer for Waco, I'd have to report this place, I think. No, but there've been a couple of close calls on the stairs, and basically, I'm getting to the point where now, when I moved into that place, the idea of a 2-story house. When I grew up, a 2-story house was kind of a prestige thing, and so when I saw the opportunity to get a 2-story house, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to do that because but at this point, I don't really need that anymore. Oh yeah, yeah. I lived in my California house for 21, almost 22 years. In fact, if I'd stayed there till Father's Day this year, it would have been 22 years. So I built up a lot of equity in that house, and that's going to be nice because I got that cash right now, and I'm probably going to just be able to buy a house outright when the time comes. Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe building a storm shelter if I get a house. I've noticed that too, Karen, that the air conditioning doesn't work as well upstairs as it does downstairs. In fact, when I was upstairs doing the stuff in the cat room yesterday, I actually shut down all the air vents downstairs so there'd be more pressure blowing upstairs, and I still had a fan blowing to keep it. How do I like the neighborhood? You know, we were a little concerned about it when we first moved in here, but the people have been really nice, and I have not had one concern here about the people. I went to a barbecue place a couple nights ago, and real good. They had really good food, so I'll definitely go back to them. That was Uncle Dan's Barbecue, and I was there. You know, like I said, really good food. It's just like it's almost like a cafeteria thing. You go up to the counter, you pick what they want, pick what you want, and then they hand you the plate, and you just go to your table. But it was really, really good. Yeah, storm shelter like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. It's funny. Somebody on commented on one of the videos. I think on yesterday's video, suggesting I go up to Kansas, and I almost replied, "Yeah, maybe not," because the line is, "I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. It's not. I don't think we're in Texas anymore. If I'm going to avoid tornadoes, that's probably the worst place to go." Austin's an awful long ways away. That's the only issue. You know, if I'm in Austin or something like that, then it might be worth it. So I'm always looking for recommendations like that. Ice cream parlors. I don't know. I don't really eat a lot of ice cream. So does my apartment have a deck space for a small grill or a smoker? Yes, I have a tiny little backyard that's probably 6 feet wide and about 12 feet long. And I have one of those little tailgating, barbecues that are about this big around. And I've been using that lately because my gas barbecue that's out there too, but that doesn't work on propane. That works on natural gas, and there's no natural gas in this place. Yeah, it might happen. Who knows? The Cameron Zoo might have a lion there named Jordan. We'll check it out. I'll definitely go there. Like I said, yeah, yesterday it was just a priority to help nibble, and I kind of came up with that idea the night before, and I already made this. I already made the video saying, "Yeah, I'm going to go to the Cameron Zoo tomorrow." So sometimes that happens, and that's probably the reason Jordan doesn't announce too much. Um, that where he's going ahead of time because a lot of times things just change. No, I haven't seen any scorpions, snakes, or anything. Just the occasional bug that gets inside, and I've been uh, able to deal with them with my fly assault weapon. Yeah, I know I could probably do it, but the truth is, I'm halfway thinking I might just get rid of that grill anyway because I've had that one for years and years and years. And if you looked at the inside of it, all the burners are melted away. The drip pan is all rusty. The electric starter doesn't work anymore. So at some point, I may just replace that, and maybe we'll get a smoker. I've really become enthralled with the idea of the barbecue around here, and it'd be cool if I could do my own. Yeah, yeah. There's a star up there. Yeah, it is the right way now. I actually was wrong when I used to have the flag on the wall behind me. So initially, the first videos you ever saw of me, had the flag wrong. No, I used up that jar of Tabasco. I finished that up a year or two ago. But yeah, one year my parents went to Louisiana, and I guess they visited the Tabasco factory, and they knew I liked it, so they bought me like a 1 gallon jug of Tabasco sauce. And it took me about 10 years to go through it. I probably wouldn't do that anymore because Tabasco sauce doesn't last forever and it loses its flavor over time. And I didn't even realize how much it did lose its flavor until I, used the old stuff, used the stuff in the 1 gallon jug up and got some new stuff. It's like, oh wow, this tastes a lot better. I shouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, yeah. I think Jordan went for nearly 2 hours, and I'm going to probably go for 2 hours on that. So I'm not surprised that that kills your battery. Yeah, I definitely want to consider getting a smoker when I do that. Like I said, I think I've tried doing barbecue before, but barbecue on the grill, tends to if you don't have a smoker and you don't cook it for a long period of time, I think that's really the key to good barbecue is you gotta just cook it for a long, long period of time, and I think that makes the meat tender. And yeah, I know I'm gonna have to make a new board, huh, Jordan? I guess I've seen some smokers at HEB. If I was gonna do it though, I'd probably get one from Home Depot. Home Depot, has a really nice selection of smoker grills, and I'll probably get one of those at some point. I'm not going to do it while I live here because, I want to see if I can find a natural, find a house with natural gas because, I like using natural gas for cooking. I have an electric range in here, and you just can't control the heat as well. Yeah, maybe I can give you grilling lessons. I'll have to learn how to do it myself. But look, I had the grill I have is a natural gas, um, grill, and I've had that for a long time because I had natural gas at the house in California. Uh, but when I would cook something, I put stuff on the grill, you cook it. You can only cook it for a certain period of time. Um, because otherwise you burn it. So I think the smoker is probably going to be the way to go, and we'll try and do that at some point. Yeah, I've made friends with one of my neighbors who lives just a couple of units over. It was funny. When I was coming in the other night after doing the last pod unload, um, he was standing out there, I guess, waiting for his wife to pick him up and take him to school. And as I walked by, he asked me, "Do you know anything about computers?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess a little bit." And he was going to college to learn computers and needed some questions. So I had some questions to ask. He was clearly just a beginner, and I guess he had an assignment where he had to design a computer on paper that was capable of doing certain things. And basically, he just wanted a computer, for himself that was very, very simple. He wanted to do his homework on it. He wanted to look at the internet and do stuff like that, but nothing really sophisticated. And so I talked to him for a few minutes and gave him some recommendations and said, the three things you're really looking for in terms of performance on a computer is, the CPU speed, how much memory you have, and how big of a hard drive you have. And depending on, what you want to do with it, that's what you look for. And so if you're doing like video editing, like I'm doing with my vlogging, then you need more memory and you need more hard drive space. If you're going to do gaming, you need more memory, a lot more memory, and a faster video graphics processor and stuff like that. But if you're just doing homework and surfing the internet, you know what? Any computer today can do that. We crossed that line about 10 years ago. So, most computers now are more powerful than most people need. Kind of catching up here because when I start looking and when I start talking to you and looking at the camera, I'm missing some of the comments So I see comments, or people are commenting on other people's comments and trying to see what I'm missing here. Mhm. Well, and maybe so, but I think they have maybe gas grills that'll also act as smokers because not every time not every time cook something you're gonna be cooking it for 12 hours or 20 hours or whatever. We broke our record here, and it's now been 0 days since Jordan has slayed a troll. But whatever, that's why we have him here. Jordan the Troll Slayer. No longer Jordan the Lion, Jordan the Troll Slayer. Well, what are some of my interests? Like I said, I do some woodwork. I haven't really done a whole lot on that, in terms of vlogging on that. But I think when I get my own place and start start doing my getting having my own place and getting my own stuff in there, maybe I'll start doing some of that. But I do a lot of woodwork around the house. If you ever saw my DVD shelf, I made that. If you ever saw the table that my TV is currently on, I made that. A bunch of other things, my CD shelf, my headboard on my bed in my room. I've just done a bunch of other things. So, it's one of those things I like doing, and I'll probably do it sometime. At some point, I'll let you in on that. And of course, I'm a computer nerd. I enjoy doing the video editing. Maybe it's some woodwork here. I got to level out this TV tray, huh? What do you think? Yeah, that's why we got Jordan here, Jennifer. He promised me a couple days ago after he told me about that troll that tried to manipulate me into saying something racist. Um, he said, next time I do a live stream, he'll come in and rid me of all my trolls. So I guess there aren't that many here today. It's just been one so far. But you know what? That's one fewer that I don't have to deal with. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I am spoiling a lot of this here. This is a laptop on a TV tray that I'm doing this, and I have another TV tray over here with my mouse on. But I haven't even had to use that because Jordan's a troll slayer today. Windows Vista. Oh man, Windows Vista was a horrible operating system to begin with. I can't even imagine running Vista now. If I were you, I'd update to 7 if you can find an old copy of that, or just update to 10, which is where they are now. The cats are doing well. They're up taking their naps, I think. I mean, I haven't seen Bite in a while. Maybe he's behind the couch here. Hang on, let me see. Nope, nope. I think they're both up in their room. Sometimes Bite stays back there. That was why I kept his kitty treats here nearby, so I could maybe, yeah, because that sound usually makes him do it. Makes him come running. I couldn't even get Nibble to come out of her box the other day with that. It's funny too. I bought a multi-pack of potato chips a few weeks ago, and I was eating one of the packs yesterday, and as I was opening that up, both the cats came down and was like, "Oh, kitty treats, kitty treats." Would I join Jordan going to space camp? I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not necessarily into this co-vlogging thing, and I don't really think Jordan is that way either. Besides, we have really kind of entirely different directions we've gone with our vlogs. So I don't know. I guess if the right situation came up, we'd consider something. But I'm in no real hurry to do that. I've had one person on my vlog, and the entire time I've done it, and it's been Jordan. And basically, I just pointed the camera at him and let him go. Yeah, Linux is a good operating system for like networking and workstations and stuff like that. I've been a fan of Linux, but I'm primarily I'm primarily Windows now. Yeah. That's part of the reason, John, that I'm letting Jordan do this, because he knows who all these guys are, and so a lot of times he doesn't even need to wait for him to begin trolling. He'll just you know kill him right now, and so that's a good thing. And obviously, it's working because there's fewer and fewer of them. They're going to have to go make up some new accounts. All right, thank you so much, Nancy. Hope you enjoy your dinner. I'm getting hungry too, so I'm going to be stopping here pretty soon. Like I said, I'm going to go for 2 hours because I like to do these for 2 hours, give everyone a chance to get their questions in and that. How long did it really take to build the kitty shelves? The video that I showed was shooting 1 frame per second. So that's running about 30 times normal speed. And the total video was about 4.5 minutes long. So I calculated it out. It was a little bit more than 2 hours from start to finish. I haven't really had a lot of problem with Windows 10. I mean, two of my computers right now, the laptop that I'm doing the live stream on now is running Windows 10, and my desktop is also running Windows 10. Hi, Candy. Thanks for stopping in. Glass is dripping all over the couch here. Condensation is your biggest enemy in a warm, humid environment like this. Elizabeth from Alabama. Welcome, Elizabeth. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends on what you're doing with it. And I've never really had any problems with Windows 10, so I don't know. I guess I can understand how some people have problems with it. Windows 10, the layout was way different, so it was almost like learning a new operating system. I sometimes wish that Windows would like come up with a user interface and then just stick with it. You don't need to constantly reinvent the wheel. But that's just me. I think what's going on is Windows is trying really desperately to make their user interface almost indistinguishable from the Mac OS. And they're kind of moving together to the point where it's getting hard to even differentiate them anymore. I do remember Windows for Workgroups. I think the first version of Windows I ever used was Windows 2.0. That was way back when I was in a CD factory. We had a product at Laser Video called Image Disc, which basically, rather than using the system to burn pits into the surface that played the music, we'd burn pits into the surface that would be artwork. And it was really primitive at the time. And the software that created the artwork only ran on Windows. And at the time it was Windows 2. It wasn't even Windows 3, it was Windows 2. I don't know anyone that's ever seen Windows 2. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Windows 3.11 was Windows for Workgroups. But the first computer I had, didn't even run Windows. It was a DOS machine. Yeah, I remember Harbor Graphics and WordPerfect too. I used both of those back in the day. I have video, Candy, that I shot last night of the cats. I basically put the GoPro in their room and left it on time lapse mode all night. And both of the cats did explore the shelf. They didn't spend any real time up there. Bite went all the way to the top and looked around, and Nibble, she basically went to the first shelf and kind of hung out there for about 3 minutes. I'm expecting as time goes by, they'll get a little bit more familiar with it, and Nibble will kind of move on and kind of get used to that a little bit more, and she'll be up on there. But I did notice when she was up there, she was smelling it, so she recognized it. It was the same shelves that had been in their room. So they smell themselves on there, and that helps make it a little bit more familiar. I don't know if I'll put the camera in there again. We'll see. Yeah, it isn't really that big of an issue because the only time I have issues with this is when I'm doing the live streams, and I just like to have a cup of water here with me because my throat isn't used to, talking this much, so it gets a little sore and a little raw at times. Yeah, we're holding steady at 162 viewers right now. I think that's pretty good. I think we got 176. I'll see what the actual number is when we get done. YouTube kind of gives you feedback on that at the end. Yeah, my cats have always had their own room, primarily because I don't let them into my room, and I want to have the ability to contain them if I ever have to. Sometimes, if you have to leave the front door open, Nibble is very timid when it comes to people, but if you leave the door open, she loves to go exploring, and she's way more adventuresome than Bite is. They won't take off running, but they know that the house is a safe zone, but they both like to go out, but Nibble's usually the first one. She's the bad influence of the group. Bite will follow her out, but Nibble's usually the first one out the door. How did I get their names? I said that on one of my vlogs, but I'll retell the story here. Bite and Nibble were abandoned in my backyard when they were 5 weeks old. My mom and my dad and I had just come back from celebrating my mom's birthday. And as I was coming in the gate, I kind of off in the corner of my eye, I saw something moving, but didn't really register. And I turned around and looked, and I didn't see it. Didn't see what it was. It was just something that kind of moved, but I kind of made a mental note of it. And then the next day, I was out in the backyard, and Bite was up in the planter, probably looking for some food or something. And I went over there and I looked, and he saw me. There was a little gap between the back of the planter and the neighbor's house. And when he saw me coming towards him, he dove back into that gap. And when I looked in there, it wasn't just him; it was both of them. And so I went and got it. I tried to grab for him, and he hissed at me. So I went into the garage and got a pair of gloves and went back. And as I reached into the gap to try and grab him, he clamped onto my finger and bit me. So that was how he got his name. Now, fortunately, the glove protected me, and it wasn't a problem. He wasn't strong enough to penetrate the glove, but that was how he got his name. And then I went and was able to grab Nibble also. Took them both into the house, and I think they were just spooked. They were both feral at the time, and I think they were spooked. I was probably the first human that probably ever had tried to be nice to them, so they didn't know what to do. And being the computer nerd I decided to spell Bite's name with a Y instead of an I. And then the question became, what do I do with the other one? What do I name the other one? And like I said, being the computer nerd I am, I realized that since I'm going to name byte, spell byte like a computer byte, half of a computer byte is called a nibble. So she became Nibble, and that was how they got their names. Nibble, neither of them are bad kitties. They're just Nibble is more adventuresome. Let's just put it that way. She's a sweet little kitty. I just wish she was more personable. But like I've always said, Bite is my cat, Nibble is her cat, is his cat. Yeah, I do miss Flash, but my parents send me pictures every once in a while and give me updates. My dad is enjoying having him around or having her around. So, we'll move her out once I've moved into a house and have something personal, permanent, and something that will allow me to, keep her contained in the backyard. She wouldn't like the backyard I have right now because, it's too small. There's very rarely that there's any sun back there, and there's actually some dangerous spots where if she were to, step off the edge, she could end up on her back, and that's not good for tortoises. Yeah, I'm going to try and uh, get my dad to maybe send some video to me that I can include. He sent me a picture recently. How of is Flash? I'm assuming you mean how old is Flash. I don't really know how old Flash is. Um, I believe she's older than I am. I think she's 60 to 70 years old. I've had her for 30 or 35 years. I've never had a pet as long as her. There's a funny story about how I got Flash. This happened when I was still living at home, so this tells you how long ago it was. My mom was going off to work one day, and this was when I was working like from 10 to like 7 in the evening. So my mom was going off at like 7 in the morning, and I was still kind of in bed, because I stayed up a little later and went to work a little later. And my mom went out, got in the car and ready to drive off. And a minute later, she comes back in and says, "Hey, there's a tortoise walking around in the front yard." Apparently, she had escaped from one of the neighbors' houses and had made it all the way to our house. And we kept looking for a long time, trying to figure out who owned her, but no one ever showed up. So now we have her. And she's escaped from my yard a couple times. It's funny. Sometimes I would leave the gate open, and you wouldn't think a tortoise would be that fast, but boom, leave that gate open, she's gone. And there've been two times that she got out. One time I was just working in the garage, and I heard a car stop kind of in front of my house, and somebody said, "Hey, there's a turtle walking around out in the street here." And I said, "Uh-oh, Flash got out." And then in another case, she actually got out without me knowing, went all the way down to the end of the block, made a right, and went into one of the cul-de-sacs and basically went until it dead ended and found another neighbor. And that neighbor had a tortoise too. I didn't even realize that Flash had gotten out. And this neighbor started putting signs up around the community saying somebody had lost a tortoise. And I think, well, how many tortoises could there really be in this neighborhood? And so I went home immediately and started looking at all of Flash's typical hiding spaces, and it's true, I couldn't find her. So I ended up contacting them, and um, it was her. It was cute though because the neighbor they found had like a 5-year-old daughter, and they had their own tortoise, and the 5-year-old daughter just really loved having Flash around, and kept feeding her strawberries. Flash loves fresh fruit. She loves watermelon. She loves broccoli, carrots, celery, lettuce, all that stuff. And she loves strawberries. And she gets so many strawberries when she was living at the neighbor's house. And when she came back, her face was stained red. Yeah, that was another one of the reasons I chose Texas. There's no state income tax. We have a state sales tax, but even that's less than California's. Yeah, yeah. Nevada has so much income coming from the casinos, it doesn't have to have a state income tax. I don't know how common tortoises are in California. Um, like I said, until Flash got away and found the house down at the end of the block that had one, I didn't know anyone else had a tortoise. So yeah, Flash is still with my parents. They wanted nothing to do with having the cats at my place, but uh, neither of them had a problem with Flash. Probably because Flash is just such a low maintenance pet. They don't have to let her in. She just lives in the backyard. For the most part, she just kind of feeds on whatever's in the backyard, and so you know, very low maintenance pet. So I enjoy having her. She's a fun little pet. Primarily because it's just unusual. Most people don't. Most people don't have a tortoise, so that's always fun. All right, thank you, thanks Jennifer. It was good. I'm glad you were able to stop by. Go have some strawberries. Wow, coming up on 2 hours. We're still holding numbers pretty well. 155. It's not at peak, but a lot of people are staying by and watching. So I'm grateful to that. Thank you all for watching these. I'm still dumbfounded that anybody feels that they want to watch what I do here. But am I going to have the T-shirts? Yes. I got the final artwork from my graphic artist today. I'm going to send it off to Merch Five, but Merch Five isn't going to be staying around too much anymore. I think that little venture is about to end. But Orlando over there said he had a little bit of merchandise left over, so he's going to make, I think, us a couple of the Texas Storage Massacre shirts that I showed you on one of the other vlogs. And in fact, I put a video up on today's video. I showed the final product or what it looks like, so you'll be able to see it if you haven't seen it. Watch the video that goes up in a little bit more than an hour. Thank you, Candy. I really appreciate that. That was nice of you. I really appreciate you guys all watching. That's like I said, it still baffles me, but as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep making them. Yeah, I guess that's sort of what these are all about, Jenna, is, getting to know who I am a little bit. I kind of wish I had a chance to get to know who you guys are a little bit more. Maybe you guys are all going to do a vlog so I can watch. Yeah, I'm glad you're checking these out. But when I start doing these live streams, I like to keep them going for a couple hours. Give everyone a chance to stop in because especially if it's like this one where it's virtually unannounced. The only people who knew about it are the people who were watching Jordan's vlog, sometimes or did watch Jordan's live stream because he talked about it a little bit. But what I wanted to do is, sometimes I'm going to announce them on my vlog when I'm going to do them. Other times I'm just going to bounce in, and That's what this was today. Actually, I do have a Patreon account, but I'm not really using it yet. But I noticed when I logged into it this morning that somebody found it and contributed. So I don't know. It's out there. You might be able to find it on your own, but I'm not really doing a whole lot with it yet. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I've been doing it kind of, sometimes I announce it, other times I don't. And, I'll probably do that from time to time, just announce it because, sometimes people don't necessarily, you know, some people want to do it, but they don't necessarily know when I'm on exactly. Usually it's a better bet that I'm going to do it about this time of day just because this is, late in the afternoon. And I'm trying to do them on Saturdays or Sundays pretty regularly just because that's when a lot of people are available. But, you know, I'll just intermittently do them from time to time. It's a lot easier to install drawers when you do them right the first time. I'll put it that way. Yeah, that's cool. You can always use the alert bell. That supposedly works. But I've heard a lot of people say that the bell doesn't always work. So I don't know. No, I'm probably not going to do any PO boxes. I've seen the problems that others have had, and I know Jordan didn't do it, and I don't really want to do a whole lot of that either. I don't really need you guys sending me things. I basically have everything I need. Uh, what will I cook for the cooking vlog? You're going to have to tune in to see. But it's going to take me about 36 hours to prepare, which is why I'm going to start doing it after I finish this one tonight. It involves wild rice, and with wild rice, um, it takes it isn't minute rice. It takes 24 to 36 hours to get it to plump up and get it right. Thank you, Essex. I appreciate that. That's I really appreciate that. So, but you'll see what that is. That'll be tomorrow's vlog. It's going to be a cooking vlog, and we'll see how that works. Some people have said they'd like to see me do that. So, uh, we'll see how it works. It's easy content, so it's one of my things, and it's actually a recipe that I just kind of made up myself. So I'm going to share it with the world for the first time. I got a couple other ideas for recipes I might share too. I might share with you my mother's lasagna recipe. That's always been my benchmark for lasagna. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Will I ever talk about how to install electrical outlet? Actually, maybe. When I was doing the video yesterday where I was doing the shelves for the cat room, I noticed that two of the outlets in there, you can't seem to push a plug into it. I think maybe somebody broke the ground plug off inside of there. So who knows? Maybe we will do one of those. I want to look at it closer and see what's going on. But I tried plugging an outlet into, or plugging, I think I tried plugging the fan into it, and I couldn't get the plug to go in. So there's something jamming up that one. So I want to take a look at that. So I don't know. Maybe you'll get your wish to see me replace an electrical outlet quicker than you think. Probably won't be tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be the cooking vlog. Probably won't be the day after that because the day after that's going to be the unloading the pod vlog. But who knows? Maybe we'll do it. Yeah, I don't know how many. I don't. I'm not really bringing anything else home. Um, Everything that I really needed was in the last pod that I loaded because basically, I got rid of all the stuff that I didn't need in the first two pods, several months ago, and so the stuff that I need, the day to day stuff that I did need, was all in the last pod. So 99% of the stuff I needed was in that pod. So when it was delivered here, I just unloaded all of it. I had all my CDs and DVDs and the TV and the entertainment system and all that stuff, my bed, all that stuff. That was in the last pod because that was the stuff I really needed the most. And there's only been just a handful of things that I've found in the first or second pod that I needed. Tools and stuff like that. I don't know. Someone just texted me, I think. Kiefer Sutherland's doing a cooking vlog. That's news to me. Not exactly the first person I think of when I think of cooking, but whatever. Who knows? Maybe you probably wouldn't think of me when you think of cooking either, but here we are. All right, so we've hit the 2 hour mark, so we'll run this for a couple more minutes, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, my subscribers have been really good people. With the exception of a couple of trolls, but we're dealing with more than 2,000 people here, and having the fact that we have one or two of them that are jerks, that's not too bad. Did Jaw get along with the cats? No, not really. And it wasn't for Jaw not trying. He wanted to make friends with the cats. I think there's a couple of cats in the apartment that Jordan lives in that Jaw's gotten to know. So I think he just looks at my cats as kind of being like friends. But unfortunately, Jaw's first instinct is to chase, and Bite and Nibble's first instinct is to run. So it was never going to be a match made in heaven. Oh, you love the intro. I'm afraid I'm going to have to retire that here because I don't really own that Mickey Mouse image. So starting with today's vlog, that isn't even on there, and I'm going to probably have to remove it from like my 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 thumbnails too. I don't know. I don't own the image, and I don't really want to get to the point where somebody comes in 5 years and says, "Yeah, I'm suing you because that image is mine, and now you owe me all the money you've made over the years." So we're going to come up with something new, find something that I can actually claim rights to. I'm actually thinking maybe I've talked to the guy who did the Texas Storage Massacre T-shirt and asked him if maybe he can come up with something. So I don't know. We'll see. He seems like a really talented artist, so I want to try to I want to help him a little bit. I'm throwing a little cash his way just so he knows he's appreciated and stuff like that. What am I going to make for dinner tonight? I didn't take anything out of the freezer, so it's going to have to be something I could do quickly. I'm thinking I've got some spaghetti in the fridge. I may do that. Something quick. And then, like I said, I got to start cooking wild rice, so that's going to take a while. Oh, you like it when I do the with your host, me, Breck Roll. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you're not too tied into the angry Mickey picture. Uh, I've been thinking about that I needed to get rid of that image for a while because that does have the potential to turn into a legal issue, and the bigger this becomes, the more of a threat it becomes. So, like I said, you're not going to see that anymore. But I'll keep doing the and me, whatever. That's sometimes I forget, but for the most part, that's kind of my version of and welcome to Days with Jordan the Lion, right? So Jackie and Bud caught another live stream. Yeah, we're almost to the end of it too. We're gonna end this pretty quick because I usually keep it going about 2 hours, and we're over the 2 hour mark now, and I'm hungry. So yeah, I've had a couple of people comment on that. I went out and bought one of those tripod mounts that grip onto your camera. So one of the comments somebody said is the camera is shaking a little bit, and I'm trying to work on that. I understand how that's annoying too. It bugs me when I'm watching a video and the image is doing this, so I understand. But trying to make it a little better. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that would be a good idea. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad. Like I said, I really appreciate the fact that you guys watch all my vlogs. So the next vlog is uploaded. It will go live in 58 minutes. So I appreciate you all watching it. It's funny when we talk about some of these trolls. There's one troll that Jordan's pointed me out, pointed to that he thinks is the same guy that's most of the trolls, and he has his own vlog that he's been running for like 3 years, and basically it's just him going around mocking Adam the Woo and Jordan and Carpetbagger and others, and he's got what 400 subscribers after doing it for 3 years, and most of his videos, the views are in the double digits only. And it's funny. I look at mine and realize that he's got videos that have been up for 3 years and have 40 views, and oftentimes my videos pass the 40 view mark within 5 minutes of me posting them. So it really is flattering to me that you guys not only watch but wait, until the moment I post it and watch them almost immediately. Because I'll be looking, I'll be looking at the numbers after it goes live, and within like a minute or two, I already have people watching. So that's really cool. Hey there, Sluggo's here. How's it going, buddy? Oh man, a vlog about all my tools and equipment. Oh man, that would be a big job. That'll probably have to happen after I move out because all my big toys are in the storage locker. You saw the bandsaw when I was fixing the drawers. I went and got that, but I got a table saw and I got a miter saw and all sorts of kind of cool stuff. Like I said, when I get into my own place and get everything undone, maybe we'll do something there. Like I said, I gotta keep the woodworking stuff going. I do a lot of woodworking on my own, and I'll probably drag you guys into that and let you see some of those things. For those of you who are on my Facebook page, go look at my photo album called Woodwork. You can see some of the stuff I've done. Yeah, that's it. Bring out the big guns. Am I missing Flash? Yeah, I miss her, but she's living, having a good life right now in California with my parents. My dad really likes having her around, so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, the laser level is just bought separately, and that's just a normal camera tripod. But a lot of the laser levels, they just have standard tripod mounts now. So that's a great way of just mashing two technologies together. The only problem I have is my tripod doesn't go high enough to hit that top shelf where I put nibbles. So I actually had to like stack up some trash cans and get some lumber up there so that I could get the height to do that. But then on the other hand, it was too tall for the lower shelf. So when Jordan was out here a month ago, he had bought a cheap tripod that he just left here and said, "Yeah, just hold on to it. So if I ever come back and need one, it'll be here." Well, I actually ended up using it because it was smaller than the one I had, and it was the only way I could get to the low levels to make that shelf work. So that lower shelf work. So yeah, I got two of them here now. All right, so it seems like everyone's kind of running out of ammo here, and so my voice is getting a little hoarse. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream now. I appreciate you all watching. As usual, I'm going to leave this one up so you can watch it again if you want. Um, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 54 minutes on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.